Michelle, with Children First, and you're in charge of referrals. Can you tell me a little bit of what that means?
Okay, so we at the placements team would be first point of contact from local authorities. They send out referrals, which is basically information about a child, the child's background, whether they're coming from home or if they're coming from another foster carer, why they now need a new placement and all of their needs. In independent fostering agencies, we normally get the higher end children, like with the more complex needs, rather than a foster carer within a local authority. What we do is when we read these referrals, sometimes we haven't got any carers that will match them, so we would just, reply back to them and say that in this instance we can't help. If we do have carers that we feel may match the child's needs, and considering other children in placement, if they match well with those children, we will send the local authority the profiles of that carer. Bearing in mind they send these out to not just us, all over the country, independent fostering agencies, so they do get a lot of profiles of carers come back. What they do is they narrow their search down, they'll have a look at those. If they are interested in any carers that we've put forward, they'll come back to us and let us know. We then have to just go through the processes of trying to make the placements, that will tell them how our carers will match them needs. And I think it's pretty much basic down to the child social worker. They look at all of their options. Sometimes they'll go out and meet the carers. We do have a lot of situations where it's an emergency referral, so there isn't time for that. It's basically just from face value, what we're telling them and from what they can see. Sometimes if it goes well, obviously a child is placed with us, and if not, then they just let us know they've found someone else. And
so when you get referral details, not the emergency ones, referral details in front of you, how long do you take looking at that information? And is that a day or 2 days? Or a week?
Yeah, so we will just look at it there and then. We'll read through it. We call up our carers and we read the referral to them. It has to be their choice, so we can't just say, oh yeah, you can take this child. We read it to them. Sometimes they make a decision there and then. Our more experienced carers will obviously know how the process works. Our newer carers, a lot of the time, will want to go away and think about it, talk to their partner, talk to their family. But usually within a day or we get a decision. If it's, like I say, the more emergency, we need placing tomorrow or the next day, we kind of say to them, this child needs placing in 2 days, so we kind of need a decision quite quickly. But if they're what's called a planned placement, where they'll say, we need a placement for a child in a month's time, you've got longer to have a look at it, so the carers have obviously got longer to make that decision and stuff.
What is the key information that you feel that potential carer needs to know that you give out?
We give them every piece of information that we give them. The main thing, especially if they've got already children in placement, is the behaviours of the child. We get children that have got quite challenging verbal, physical behaviour. Sometimes they'll present with sexualised behaviours. Again, that would consider matching for other children that are in the home, whether they're birth children or foster children. That's obviously the main information that the carer will need.
And is all this done over the phone, or will the carer come in? Potential carer?
No, it's all done over the phone. We do have some instances where carers will say, can I, it's very rare, but they'll come in and read it or ask to see the referral. Because of data protection reasons and stuff, we don't just send out children's details and stuff to carers. Sometimes the supervising social workers might take it round for them to show and then bring it back, but it is 90% is on the phone.
It sounds too flippant a term, this, but it's a real matchmaking service, isn't it? A bespoke service trying to get the right carer with the right referral, isn't it?
Yeah, because even sometimes it's kind of hard to determine how a child is presenting behaviour where they are at the moment doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be the same when they go somewhere else. I mean, a lot of the time, don't get me wrong, they are, but different people work differently with different behaviours. Some people might not manage really complex behaviours, where some people might manage it better than others. So, yeah, it's...
This might be laying the ball up question. How well do you think Children First do this referral process? I know I'm not asking you to mark your own in many ways marking your own homework here, but are you proud of what you do when you do this?
Yes. Yeah, really proud. I mean, I've worked within the social care sector for years, working with children in residential and stuff like that, but I've never, I've come to work here January last year, so I've been here just over a year. And to see the other side of it, it's actually, it just opens up your mind to whole. I never really knew the process in the background of it, but yeah, no, it does make me, I'm really proud of what we do here. And everybody, it's not just, when we say we're with the referrals team and we're the ones that ring the carers and stuff like that, we are, but we do pretty much work as a team. I'm always asking everybody, the social workers, I mean Kim, even the admin staff, because some of us have been here longer, they might know the carers better than me. So I always try and get everybody's opinions on what they think this particular child may need and stuff. So yeah, we do work really well together.
But what about external organisations? Have they told you if you're doing a good job or not? For example, local authorities?
Not all the time, and it's not because they're just, they're rude or anything like that. Everybody's so busy, and I understand that. Very rarely, every now and then, we do get praise and feedback from the local authority, especially if when we place a child, the placement breaks down, which means the carer, has got to a point where they don't feel they can deal with this child anymore, with the complex needs that they have, and that you do what you give a 28 days notice, you let the local authority know this isn't working. But what we will try and do in the first instance, rather than send that child back as such, we will try and look at other carers within our agency to try and keep that child placed with us, and that works brilliantly. I mean, we've got a lot of children that have moved from one carer to the other, rather than just, as I say, sending them back to local authority. But no, with regards to telling us how well we work, we do get quite a lot of feedback to say that we're.
And so what? I may have asked you this before. So what is your criteria for success? As the person in charge of referrals, you're making sure everybody gets a placement. Is that it?
Yeah, obviously when we get new carers come on board and stuff, we want them to get a placement as soon as possible, but we can't just kind of hand pick children out of thin air. And some of the children that come in, as I say, do have very high needs. I wouldn't be inclined to put one of those children with a new carer. I would prefer to go with a carer that's been with us, for a more experienced person. With our new carers, I will try and place obviously a more gentler child as such.
Enjoy what you do?
Yeah, love it.
Why?
Children in care, I've got a lot of experience with children in care within my family setting and stuff. So to know that we can here look after children that may not particularly get the care that they need elsewhere, it makes me personally feel really, really good to know that there is people out there that are caring for these children. So we at the referrals team work quite closely with the recruitment. What we do is we let recruitment officer Kim know the amount of referrals that we get from different agencies. Our main is probably Essex, because that's where we are situated and that's where mainly our children come from that are placed with us. But obviously Essex is quite a big area, so we have to, let her know what kind of, North Essex is quite a big one, Colchester way and stuff like that. So we do try and get more carers and stuff up there. We cover London and Bedfordshire as well. We actually get quite a lot from further up north, which is a shame because we haven't got the facility to go right up there and supervise carers and stuff. So what we do is, with Kim, send her out on her little missions around the country or the part that we cover to try and recruit carers in that area.